there. So welcome to my channel where we talk about spiritual and emotional health and things that self-sabotage us and all other topics that we'll be covering. But today specifically I want us to talk about, or rather I'm actually asking you a question. Who is meeting your emotional needs, or who are you expecting or asking to meet your emotional needs? So stay with me in this short video because I want you to reflect and really ask yourself and answer yourself, and just realize that depending on what your answer is, that whatever you are doing or whoever you're expecting or whatever you are getting your emotional needs met is what is really causing struggles of mental health issues, just emotional issues and all the issues that we want to avoid so that we can move forward. So what are emotional needs actually? So emotional needs are conditions or feelings that we want to feel fulfilled, to feel peaceful, to feel joyful, just to feel, at peace and walk in life, carefree and all the things that we actually desire and we are working for as a goal in our life for spiritual and emotional health. And so the other thing I want us to talk about or even ask is, how do we end up with unmet emotional needs? How do they even creep up in our lives? Why do we have them? And why are some people actually more, they need more, or they crave more of these needs? Why is it so? So unmet emotional needs come out, or we obtain them because of our upbringing. Most of these creep up or found in our childhood. If, for instance, somebody was raised by parents that didn't approve them, then that child, when they emerge in adulthood, they might be needing excessive approval, validation from others because they didn't get it when they are a child. And so then they emerge with these needs, with a need for validation, for approval. Something else could be, just affection. Like a lot of people I've talked to, we were not raised to, our parents didn't know how to give us affection. So we came out as adults really needing affection. Now, it wasn't there. They didn't mean to, because they were probably on survival mode, and they were probably also didn't know how to give affection because they never received any. So we're not blaming people who brought us up. We just teaching you or talking about where these needs could be, because sometimes we blame people. We say, oh, they are so high maintenance, they always want validation, but without really knowing that where these things came or originated from. Because if we can know the genesis of our problems, sometimes we can actually be more compassionate with people, because we realize that it's not something they're just doing intentionally, but also it equips us to know if we are the ones going through this, we know where it came from and how. I'm sure in other videos we're going to be talking about how to have this, to recognize these self-sabotage patterns. So so there are various, there are really like multiple, there are multiple ones, and I think the greatest one I've seen is people that have unmet love. They were not loved enough, or they didn't feel like they were loved when they were children, and so when they come out in as adults, they are really craving and looking for that love. love, they're starved inside because they never, they were never developed in a loving environment. Maybe it was a domestic violence situation. All they saw is chaos, is hurtful stuff, and so they are starved for this need of love and approval, or affection and all that. So that is how we actually emerge as adults with all these unmet needs. So here's the problem. A lot of us don't know how to meet our needs as adults. So now we know that we probably emerged with this because of childhood environment, or where we were raised up, or by who we were raised on. But when we were adults, when we become adults, we are responsible of ourselves, and but we don't know how to have these needs met. And so what happens is that we develop all these coping mechanisms, and that's why I asked you, who is meeting your emotional needs? Are you excessively demanding people in your life? Your boyfriend, your husband, your wife, your friends, Facebook friends. If there's a place where I find people with these patterns is on social media. People that will post something just so that they can be validated. How many likes did I get? And that's like, when it's done excessively, it's showing that somebody just wants to be validated. They want to be liked. They want to be appreciated. And we look for this validation, or for our needs to be met in so many other areas. Some people, it is in drugs, like that is, they just numb those feelings of like, I have this need. And so maybe they even become a sex addict, or a drug addict, or any of the coping mechanisms that we use. Like I said, honestly, social media is one of it too. It's like we can be so much on social media and posting and saying these things just because we want validation, and also just so that we think we have friends and who love us, and while all the time, when we are not using these things to meet our needs, then we are so dry on the inside. Then maybe after we turn off our social media, or we are not doing some of these things, then we go to alcohol, or we go to something else that is meeting our needs. So I want us to be honest today and ask ourselves, who is meeting, or who are we asking, or who are we expecting to meet these emotional needs? Because if you don't ask yourself these questions, then you'll continue seeking these avenues to meet your emotional needs. And here's the truth. The truth is that none of all the above, and even the ones I didn't mention, that will ever meet your emotional needs. None. And only God can, through Jesus Christ. And he has said that. He has said that in his word. He has said that in Philippians 4:19, that he will meet all our needs according to his riches in glory, in Jesus Christ. I mean, think about that. When he says all needs, it's all needs, including emotional needs. But somehow when we read that, we've been conditioned or taught to think it's just material stuff that he will need, and he does that too. But he's really talking more deeper stuff, deeper things, that when he meets those deep things, even all other things, they are gonna, show up. Because some of these coping mechanisms we use, or these behaviors that we end up with so that we can meet our emotional needs, so some of them are very expensive. So I've seen ladies trying to, just meet unmet needs, buying expensive clothes, buying bags, somebody's buying a bag for $2,000, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. If you can afford it, that's okay. But if you're doing it just so that you can compensate on the inside, that is wrong, because then you are not saving. And that is one thing. But also, it's you are never gonna meet that. Only God can. And when he does, and he does it through Jesus Christ, he does it through us reading his word and knowing how much he loves us, knowing how much he approves of us, so that we don't have to go getting approval. Some people are even doing great things, but they are doing them with the motivation or the intention to be approved of others. And there's nothing as just so tiring. It will burn you out so easily when you're doing things to prove things to people, because there's something lacking on the inside. So I think we have to ask ourselves, why am I doing what am I doing? Why am I buying what I'm buying? Why am I addicted, or why am I in this behavior? And so that we can find what those needs are, those unmet needs are. Because if we don't ask ourselves that, we'll just think it's normal to meet our needs. And then before we know it, we can't sustain friendships, because what happens is that nobody wants a high maintenance person that you have to maintain their emotional needs. They are always asking for validation. I mean, they are so easily offended, or see, what I've seen a lot now is that people are demanding others to meet needs only God can, and they're getting so frustrated because people can't. No human can love you enough to feel loved. Only God can, because it's an inside job. God does it, his spirit, God, his love, his spirit, and so he does it on the inside. And when the inside is okay, then we are able also to receive love from others without demanding, without being excessively just being codependent. When we have unmet needs and we are trying to make other people meet those needs, then it leads to codependency. And we'll be talking about codependency relationships in another video, because that is definitely something that we do when we are trying to meet these unmet needs. So ask yourself that, and what I want you to do is, once you answer yourself and you know that what you're doing will not meet your emotional needs, your emotional spiritual needs is not going to, then what I want you to do is just to realize that there's so much help out there. You can see a therapist, you can go into coaching, you can work with somebody, a mentor that will help you to show you what this and what some of your behaviors are showing, or what those unmet emotional needs are. And then they will help you they will help you walk through just recognizing this, and recognizing how you can use the word of God to to meet your needs, because that's why Jesus came. He came to meet our needs, because he knew that we are in this broken world. We are going to be raised by broken people. We are going to be, there's going to be unhealthy thinking patterns or behaviors that are gonna emerge in us. And so he came with a solution to destroy all the works of the enemy that he has done, he has caused in us as we are living in this broken world. And Jesus came to meet our needs. He said he came to mend our broken hearts. He came to heal our wounds. He came so that we can think right, so that we can receive him and use him to heal us and to help us overcome or meet these needs that we didn't meet from our parents or whoever raised us. So I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I want you to know that you can reach me. I'll put my information at the bottom. If you want coaching services for this, I'll help you out. Okay, so thank you so much for tuning in, and see you in the next video. God bless.